What's up, everybody? It's Eve. Follow me on Twitter and YouTube for space recordings and special live programs. 2024, we're doing things a little different if you haven't peeped game by now. So yeah, this is your chance. You can do it now if you want. Hit the bell here on YouTube at JustEveB or find me on X at Justice4 Us. That's JUSTICE 4 JUST_US. And if you feel so inclined, support my channel and the work we do over here. The Cash App and Patreon links are in the description. Black first.
If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. Vampires, they prey on your fears and stay away. Vampires, they prey on your fears, control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. Don't let them take control your atmosphere. Distraction away from me. I am you and control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. Don't let them suck your energy. It's a distraction away from me. I am you and you are me. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. Nobody but yourself. Don't follow. I said nobody but yourself. Don't follow. Nobody but yourself. Don't follow yourself. Nobody yourself. Nobody but yourself.
Just Eve.
There we go. Wait, one more. Am I gonna do it? I think I'm gonna do it. What's up, everybody? All right, now, I thought that I was gonna be able to coast off into 2025 and not have so much to say, but then remembering that I haven't really been feeling well, and these stories have just kind of been piling up. And while there are channels who talk about different things, and our situation, America, it does get discussed. But then what specifically are we talking about? Are we having the right conversations, you guys? And yeah, I'm being extremely judgmental, but I hold myself to the same standard. So it's not that I'm saying that everybody needs to talk about this, and then I'm gonna, in my real life, not talk about these things or not do these things. I am not fraudulent business. It's not about being the first as much as, if you are going to be the first, then maybe you don't be the first.
You can do this, but you don't know who you are. I know who you are. You're gone. You quit. We won't see you again. Ha, ha, ha.
Remember, you heard it right here. Detecto Rizzo Mac. Peace.
I'm sorry. I guess that's just lingering from the other day where people were questioning my reasoning for why you would need to take certain titles away from people. People want to say that Tariq is the leader of the FBAs or whatever. And, I think Tariq is the leader of his house. And isn't that how it's supposed to be, right? The man's supposed to lead his home and do the things that he's supposed to do as a man. And then his family's supposed to fall in line, follow suit, and support. Outside of that, I think that, we're in a time where people just talking too much about what other people are doing, not really doing enough of what they should be doing. I'm going to fall into that category tonight just because it's going to seem like I'm being very judgmental. But I'm angry, right? And if you've joined me over the past year, you've witnessed my anger. I know it doesn't sound so angry. I don't have any catchphrases. I don't have any gimmicks. I don't have a gavel or anything that's in your face going to make you pay attention to me. Actually, I guess I have the opposite effect. Some of y'all niggas say that I put you to sleep, but then you say not in a bad way. Niggas asleep. But if you've been listening to the left, Kamala's side of things, she's been telling you to wake up and be the most woke, and wake up and woke, be the most woke. All right, fine. You wake up. You wake up to groceries costing 2 to 5% more than they used to. And yeah, I guess people will say, well, the year before that, it was 5 to 7%. I guess I would just say that that's still a year that Joe Biden was in office, isn't it? And I don't know, I guess it's fitting. Joe Biden starves America. Yes, we're starving. Literally, people are starving. And I'm not talking about homeless people. I'm not talking about poor people. Because really, if you're poor in America, you might be winning. If you look at the data, the stats, the numbers of people who are using government assistance, it is not the niggas. No, it's not your model minority that you have on the screen. We're going to talk about him about something else. It's the dominant society, the dominant minority, if you will. People who were told a long time ago that their numbers were dwindling and they probably needed to do something to offset the negative. And then they just, I don't know, I guess they put their foot on the gas and said that they would rather ride off into the sunset of racism, white supremacy than do anything that makes sense. So here we are in 2024, where pedophiles are getting pardons. And then it's like, poof, this nigga's about to be gone. Damn it, I gotta stop doing that. Joe Biden's gonna sleep his entire presidency. And then 21 days before he is not going to be the president anymore, not only does he pardon his son, but all of these people are getting pardons. And are we paying attention? Are we taking notes? Or Do we even care? I mean, I guess if it's not a person in your family, somebody specific that you know who has charges, maybe it's a non-violent weed offense or something like that. Maybe they got swooped up in the crime bills that Joe Biden and Bill Clinton were masterminding and such from the 90s. We still have some layover and lingering negative affect from these policies and bills that got pushed and put into place. But be that as it may, maybe your family is benefiting from these pardons. I don't know that I've seen any, Taekwon McDonald type names or, Jerome Jefferson. I haven't seen any names on these lists, but maybe they're not public record. I don't know why they wouldn't be. Everybody else is listed. And then you start looking at these people and what they're pardoning or what is being excused. What are we turning a blind eye to? And it's like, whoa. On your screen, you've got the model minority, obviously. Obviously, there's a certain demographic that is able to do things better. They are able to solve problems faster. No, they can't drive on the interstate. No, we're gonna have to pick a struggle, right? So I guess at the end of the day, when their parents were helicoptering and being tiger parents and just overbearing and becoming a burden, well, you've got Shin. I think that's his name. I probably just fucked it up. I'm trying to look for it real quick. Here we go. Jin. An executive grant of clemency. I don't want to be the person that says, hey, yeah, this shit happened, and then there's no evidence to support it outside of where would I have gotten this person's picture from if it's not attached to the scathing observation of what is this? I think it's I see racists and pedophiles. Okay. Executive grant of clemency. Whereas Shanlin Jen was convicted in the United States in the Eastern District of Texas. Violations, Section 2252A, Title 18 of the United States Code, for which a total sentence of 97 months, 5 years supervised release, restitution of $30,000, forfeiture of specific property, and a $100 special assessment was imposed. So Shanlin Jen had been confined continuously since his arrest back in January of 2021, so like 3 years ago. And here's the kicker. Now, therefore, be it known that I, Joseph R. Biden, President of the United States of America, do hereby commute the aforesaid total prison sentence related to the aforesaid conviction of the said Shanlin Jen to time served, leaving intact any related term of supervised release in its entirety, and any unpaid balance. Obviously, you got to pay your money, and give up that property as long as you leave the United States, and you shall remain outside of the limits of the United States and the territories and possessions. You also can't do anything else bad against the United States or the laws of the United States, and you are waiving your right to any money that you might have made here, while you were here. And you can't go make a book. You can't go write a book about this and make some money off of it. I guess you can write a book about it, but you're not going to be able to make any money off of it. So Mr. Jen, as long as he gets out and he's a good boy, then, well, the 97 months that he got get waived. So let's do a little mathy math, right? 97 months, 12 months in a year, that's 8 years. He had 47,000 files of child pornography, and he got 8 years for it. 8 years, $30,000 of a fine, plus an additional $100 fine. You can't make any money off of your experience, and you got to get out. That's it. Really? I mean, everybody knew that Joe was going to pardon his son because, well, everybody says that they would do the same thing. You know, if it were my son, if my son were in trouble, if my daughter were in trouble, I would make sure that they are safe, that they are protected, that I do everything in my power, especially if I have all the powers, right, to ensure that they don't have any lingering negative consequences from their actions. And it doesn't matter what they did. Nobody, and I mean nobody, should have been surprised when Joe Biden pardoned his son. Now, I was surprised when I was reading some alleged text messages between Hunter and his niece. First of all, his niece, that is family. And then second of all, her age, 15, that's still a child. And then these conversations that they were having, pretty interesting. Pretty darn interesting indeed. I don't know that I've ever had any conversation like they were having with any of my uncles, but maybe that's just because I'm Black and they're not. Y'all might do things different in your families, especially, you know, behind closed doors. Kissing cousins is a thing, and well, we're just going to call a spade a spade. That's something that y'all normally are known for, you know, if we're going to give any type of credit to creations of things, maybe the celebration of incest by any means necessary, keeping that white line preserved by any means necessary. I mean, it's that's y'all. Shout out to you. Okay, back to my point. Shan Lin-Jen, all he has to do is get out. The Democrats have been saying that we need to be very kind and courteous, and where's the decency? The orange man, he took away the decency of the Oval Office, and that's why Joe Biden and Kamala won. And okay, well, they lost, so I guess America doesn't give a shit about the decency that the Democrats were offering. But this seems pretty fucking decent to me. Spirit Wonder, I don't know if you're still in chat or not, but is it decent? That's pretty decent, right? Thousands and thousands of files of child pornography. And okay, to all of you pedophile sympathizers out there, because I know that you're out there, you're going to say, just because he has these files doesn't mean that he ever did anything to any child. No, it doesn't mean that he did anything to any child. I just don't like the slippery slope. Right? I mean, I agree. He needs to get the fuck out. Get the fuck on, get the fuck out, and you can't do anything wrong. But if Black America has been the permanent underclass, we are the permanent working class. At least we were. Now you've got these tethers and illegals coming over and taking the jobs that nobody really wants because they don't pay. And now that they're taking the jobs, they're complaining about the pay. Shit is fucking weird. But, you know, we've got prisons that are gonna need to be filled. I'm sorry. I've been trying to figure out what's the nice way to say this, but no, can't mince words. That's why we're in the predicament. That's why we're in the pickle we're in right now. People are too fucking nice. And it is in our niceness that we will continue to be the permanent underclass. Black America, listen to me. If you care, if you're here tonight, shout out to you. You're pretty cool. If you aren't here and you're listening to me recorded, take a note at 2121 of this show. It's up to you to give a damn. If you don't care, they're not going to care. We've already seen that movie. Benign neglect is literally, you don't care, I don't care, we don't care, let's move on to something else. But since we've said, no, we're not going to move on to something else, y'all are going to do the things that make sense, you're going to cut the check. Well, if we are a capitalist society, or if you guys like capitalism, there's going to have to be an underclass. That's the only way it works. I mean, right now that's us permanently. But we can fix that, especially when they cut the check. Things will get very askewed. They'll get very lopsided. That equality that everybody seems to think we're fighting for, it'll get put in your face in a very big way. That it's not equality, it's equity. And everybody's not going to win the race. But that's not our fault. We didn't create race, they did. So to lose a game that you created, that sucks. But here we are in 2024, and people who don't have melanin are dying in rates that they would open their borders and allow people who are not from the land to come over and impregnate their women to try to preserve their population by any means necessary. Decent? I don't know. At least it's not homo, right? Decency is, I guess they're trying to go back to a time where the math was mathing. But when you let everybody do whatever they want to do, and then they decide that they don't want to fuck each other anymore, well, I guess, isn't that what the left said to the women of the left? They voted for a racist and a rapist, and he's so bad, you better not give them no cookies for Thanksgiving. You better not bake them a sweet potato pie. Let them fend for themselves. And then shit, there were white women on TikTok talking about like straight, I don't want to say murder, but they were talking about just taking men out, just straight up and down. That's how upset they were about the election results. Maybe their mental is being affected because they're not getting enough to eat. Have we thought about this yet? I mean, we got a lot of people who say that, women are fucking crazy. I'm a person who would say that, but I don't think that it is entirely the woman's fault. Maybe, just maybe, the fact that over the past 4 years, people have had to make life decisions in the bread aisle. I've seen people at the store taking so much time, and they're not reading the ingredients like I am. I mean, some of y'all are, but no, the majority of people are trying to figure out if they have enough money to pay for the food. In Virginia, they said that it's higher than the national average, but $1,100, that's a lot of money for food to have, I'm sorry, that's how much food has increased in the past 2 years since 2022. Maybe y'all are balling. I'm not. I mean, yeah, we all right, but the cost of living has skyrocketed. Our paychecks are not skyrocketing. No. But chaos. That's what happens. That's what happens when people are starving. Not only is it chaos, but it is going to show a lot of mental instability with the people here of the land. I mean, if it's not one thing, it's another. Here's something I think you guys will appreciate. Maybe you heard about this. Maybe you haven't.
Just let her make her food.
Just get her food, please. Like, yeah, like just let her get her food. Just one night.
Thank you. Y'all got me fucked up. I mean, this shit won't take my food to my can't get my shit. It's so tripping. Ooh. Ooh. She's not trying to make me pay for the shit.
Just let her make her food. Just get her food, please. Like, yeah, like just let her get her food. Just one night.
Thank you. Y'all got me fucked up. I mean, this shit won't take my food to my can't get my shit. It's so tripping.
Ooh. She knocked the Mario coins. Lettuce and beans and tomatoes went flying when that Mexican worker, I don't know if he's Mexican, I don't know. Maybe he's just a light-skinned nigga. Who knows? He looks like a Jose or Enrique. Definitely doesn't look like a Jerome, but I guess his name could be Geronimo, right? When the customers are agreeing with the person who is causing chaos, is it because niggas is starving? Joe Biden has been starving America of resources, depriving America of tangibles. Actually, not only has he been withholding these things, but they're actively giving it away to anybody with their hands out. I'm talking anybody. If you're not from here, you get a check. And then, oh shit, they're also sending checks to other countries. And I'm not talking about the countries we're in debt to, because yeah, that's a whole other thing. No, I'm talking about to aid in the efforts, the humanitarian efforts of America, making sure that people across the world are not harming the other people across the world unless it benefits America. This woman, I don't know if she's gonna get arrested or not. I don't know how I feel about any of this, because after the experiments of 2020, I'm very germophobic. I do not like people standing closer than 6 feet, as much as I know that if that person's sick and they are already outside of their quarantine house or apartment or wherever the fuck they lay at night, then they're already basically contaminating the area. However, I do feel a little bit better when people are not breathing down my neck when we're standing in line to purchase things at Walmart, Target, or the grocery store. Don't know if I like her behind the counter at Chipotle, but I don't go to Chipotle anymore. It costs too much for the amount of food that you get. Literally, it is insane. So I think that sometimes enough is enough. Well, she didn't go shoot somebody, right? She just wanted to get the food that she paid for. Some of y'all are Uber eating and Instacarting these fast food chains upwards of hundreds of dollars a month because, well, I guess because groceries are too high. You don't have time to cook, and, well, maybe you can't afford to buy the groceries, but because you don't have time to cook, the food goes bad, and you don't have money to waste. So, Chipotle. But it's not like you're going to be able to eat your Chipotle again later. It's not like we have leftovers anymore. I don't think that there is a thing called leftovers at these fast food restaurants. No, fast food is going to have to be on target with its name. Fast food. That means it's also going to be gone fast. What? The food. And yeah, your money. Like all of it. Fast. I felt for her. Again, I don't know if I'd be one of the customers who was like egging her on. I do think that people enjoy the misery of others. And for content, somebody's recording. Messy. What if she made your food too, right? While she was behind the counter? Because that happened in California. I think the lady, they said... Of course, I can't find the damn video right now, but they said that the lady put on the damn uniform and just started serving people because Chipotle was understaffed. And it's not just that you've got the customers serving themselves or other customers, but in Michigan, they shooting over guacamole. It's not that serious. But remember a couple weeks ago, I talked to y'all about how, if avocados started costing $5,000 an avocado, Oprah and Katy Perry and all of these entertainers that supposedly have all of this money, they would just have very expensive guacamole, and then everybody else would just not be able to have it anymore. It would just be something that we used to do. Now we don't. I guess like back in the day, lobster used to be poor man's food, and then it turned into an industry that you can make a lot of money from. Same with oysters and a lot of industries that Black people had their hands in first. But they shooting over guacamole, and I wonder if it's because Joe Biden is starving us. I mean, he's turning they turned America into Kamala's India that her family fled from. Like, these people are fleeing these places, but here we are, making it happen all over again.
We've got passion, we've got determination. And if we set our sights on something, you better believe it's happening.
Is it by design? Obviously.
We've been covering the news for a long time, but this is a first. A shooting over a guacamole at a crowded restaurant with tons of people eating and in line. It's hard to believe, but we talked to witnesses who saw it all firsthand. Take a look. Chaos at Chipotle. A customer shoots an employee.
It was loud, and then we all just ran out because it was, wouldn't expect to, I wasn't really thinking about there was going to be a shot, but there was.
It happened shortly before 7 o'clock Friday night at the Chipotle on Evergreen in Southfield. Witnesses say it all started out as an argument over food. A source close to the investigation says it was specifically over guacamole.
I was just eating a bowl and I heard shouting, and then I look over, they're arguing. One of the workers went to the back, I don't know why, and then when he was in the back, the customer walked around the counter, tried to grab his food and put it in a bag. And then the employee came back and they started fighting. And then we heard a gunshot and just ran out as quick as we could.
The employee, a 21-year-old man, shot in the leg but expected to survive. Meanwhile, the suspect.
He took his time getting out. He was probably 30 seconds after it. I was in my car and I saw him just walk out to his car, close the door and just drive off. Like he didn't speed off or anything. It was weird to see.
Police arrested the 32-year-old man in a parking lot not far away. Customers who witnessed it all, not surprisingly, in shock.
That's not something you would expect, like ever.
I wasn't really thinking. I was just trying to get out of there after I heard the shot because it got real all of a sudden.
I still really have not processed it. It's going to take me a while for sure. It was very scary.
Such an incredibly bizarre story. Now, of course, they closed the doors as soon as police got there. Once 911 was called, the scene was secured. But we talked to people who came to either pick up food that they'd ordered or just to place an order, and they were shocked as well to find out what had happened. Meanwhile, no word on whether or not the guy took his food on his way out. I'm sure more to come on this.
Now, y'all just gonna have to excuse me, because it's not that serious. And for what it's worth, I'm going to have a little chuckle at the employee's expense. Nigga, I'm sorry. 2025, New Year's resolution, I'm going to stop saying nigga. Because I have this hard time not calling people who aren't Black nigga. It's just this thing. So I'm going to do my best. And I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions, but we're just going to go with it. So Anyway, to the employee who got shot over the guacamole, you couldn't just give the man his food. And to the man who shot the employee over guacamole, was it worth it? And maybe he was like, I only shot him in the leg. And at that point, I'm like, I probably should have killed him, because I feel like the way that the laws work, as soon as you pull out your gun and shoot somebody, you going down for a while. And I don't know if the guac is Chipotle guacamole that good? Even, I mean, again, it's been a while since I've been to Chipotle. The cost does not equate to the amount of food that they give you, or the fact that, you have to wait a long time because they're understaffed. But so far, the math ain't mathin', unless we take into account Joe Biden has been starving America. And, well, people do really crazy things when they're under duress or in duress, when they're under stress, when they are starving, but never mind that. People are getting pardoned. Joe Biden is forgiving student loans, but only if you fit the criteria. And I know, I don't mean the paper bag criteria as much as I do kind of mean the paper bag criteria. If you are not a public servant and you didn't apply for your loans to get forgiven, and you didn't do the things up until he decided to forgive these loans, well, then you don't qualify. But if you did, then maybe you were one of the few who got your loans forgiven. And I think that as much as Black America, who did vote for the Democrats last election, tried to tell us that this was a tangible that they voted for, and we're gonna see, well, we're finally here. Less than 2 weeks away from 2025, less than 30 days away from President Trump being the president for real again. Well, I guess it's about time he started doing something. And damn, if Black America wasn't told all you have to do is work harder, and then people went to college with no plan and got degrees that they are not using and have debt up the yin yang, it's sad that everybody is not getting their loans forgiven. Now, Joe Biden is pardoning pedophiles. I think that not only should all of the non-violent drug offenses get pardoned, especially if they are American citizens, and only if they are American citizens, we need to be able to staff and fill our prisons, because it is the cheap labor that keeps America running on that capitalism system that everybody says that they like. So if it's okay with you guys, I vote as a Black American, indigenous to this land and owed a debt from this government. I vote that we make everybody who's not supposed to be here, they can turn into the permanent underclass, the permanent working class, the work for free class. And then they can bitch about it feeling like slavery in 100 years. But at that point, maybe we will have had our hand on all of this. Well, we will have had a handle over correcting all of the whitewashing and all of the back-asswards policies and laws and just different ways to oppress us. Maybe we will have figured that out. And we will be able to tell them, tough cookies. If you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime. That's what they told niggas. And a lot of Black people were just getting high. So you couldn't get high. You can't be homeless. You can't be a vagrant. You can't ask for money. You can't just be out on the land. you have to have a place. Because if you don't have a place, well, they're going to put you in a place, and then you're going to have to work for free. And yeah, they're going to feed you, and they're going to let you have some place to sleep and give you some clothes and let you wash your ass and have a little free time and technology. You might even get the internet, but you will be working for pennies. And I guess if you fled, if you wanted to be here so bad, then maybe you would do that. Maybe we need the indentured servitude of colonialism. Maybe we need that back, because I'm so tired of Black America saying that they see the plight and the oppression and the trauma for every other group of people. And when it comes to us, it's like they've accepted it. We've accepted it. I haven't accepted that shit. I dispel all notions of Black America remaining in this permanent underclass, but I do think it's gonna take more than me. I think we're gonna have to make it known that no, this is not our position anymore. We are passing the torch, if you will, to the people who belong in jail, to the people who fled here. Really, like, let them work for their citizenship. And I don't mean let them work for their citizenship outside of four walls where we have our eyes on them. And I know it's going to be an expense, and they spend more on prisoners than they do on students. That's a different conversation for another day. For tonight's conversation, why not? You want to be the permanent underclass forever? Is that your story? I mean, they've been treating us like this for so long. We can handle it. We can take it. We are the only people who know better, and we are the moral compass of the world. No. I mean, yeah, we might be, but no. Or maybe we just need to get rid of capitalism. If y'all think the system is unfair, I guess first of all, we'd have to maybe do some dictionary diving and find out about oligarchies and how that might play into the system that we live in. But capitalism means that somebody got to be on the bottom. And if you are tired of being on the bottom, that means you're going to have to put someone else there. Nobody, N-O-B-O-D-Y on the fucking planet is going to accept willingly the permanent underclass position. As much as, like I told y'all yesterday, we're not supposed to be here. They didn't know what to do with us. So ignore us until we fade to black or kill us all. But they couldn't kill us all, and they took too long on the assimilation thing. Took too long for them to get other niggas here to confuse us, because now technology has us being able to share information in a way that is starting shit. But maybe I'm just crazy. I might be hungry. I don't know. It is in Joe Biden's America that I find that, I'm having such eager thoughts of revenge, vengeance, justice, if you will, right? Because at the end of the day, I like capitalism. I think it's great. Capitalism made America great. So until there's a system better than that we continue to stay on the top, then, well, it sounds like it's time for some other people to be on the bottom. And if you are a black who thinks that it should be you, then maybe y'all need to write a letter, put your name on it, sign it, so that we know who is ready to work for free, who is willing to give up all of what's theirs. And then, we can move forward, because it is the confusion of what we're supposed to be doing when everybody and they mama is being oppressed. They say it's a class war. Eve, it's classism, not racism. No, it's racism, and it's classism, and it's a bunch of other isms, but too much for our conversation tonight. Just know that Joe Biden's about to be out of office. And the person that's coming in, well, we have already seen and felt a Trump presidency. I don't think y'all are ready. I don't think y'all know how excited Trump is to come back into a place where he had unchecked power. I mean, it's like why the white people say that they don't want him to be the president. He's going to do things that he's not supposed to be able to do. Oh, you mean like the things that we told Obama, hey, you can do these things. You're the president now. And he said, I actually need to check in with my bosses in Congress and my other bosses. And I got to check in with Michelle. And damn, Michelle, as a foundational Black American or a Negro or a freedman or an African American, goddammit, you didn't say shit about our reparative debt. So shame on you. But, I guess we're going to have to stop blaming Joe, and then we can blame Trump, because two wings, same bird, neither one of them have shown any interest in making us whole. So we will have to take it. But that's only if you're a real person, if you really believe that we're owed, if you really feel like this is something that we can do, because the evidence is already there. They've already moved 10 spaces to the left, and it didn't take a vote, and it didn't take an act of Congress. It didn't even take an act of God, as much as maybe uprisings are acts of God. I don't know. Let's not get too deep. Eve, bad Eve. Tonight, surface level. Are you starving? Because if you are, you might be doing shit that doesn't make sense. And I say that you need to blame the people who made things cost so much. And then guess what? It's gonna get worse, because Trump said tariffs. Well, that means that things are gonna cost more. So maybe people are gonna even be more crazy. And Russell, I feel you, white supremacy being preserved by any means necessary. I think that that's why some of these white people say that Trump is a problem. If Trump is a businessman and not a racist man, like they say, then he would just care about his bottom line and fuck everybody else. And I know a lot of people like that. They might not be racist as much as they just are very selfish. And I guess when white people are selfish, we've gotten very comfortable calling it racism. So, we're going to have to maybe look at these things with glasses on, with bifocals or trifocals, a lot of different lenses, because the math ain't mathin'. Trump and his team are supposed to be bringing decency back into the White House by way of the homosexuality, and the war on children is supposed to go away. But Joe Biden just let this person, Shinlin Jen, out. Not only did he get out, but he's going to be able to come back. Man, they keep coming back, you guys. There's nothing keeping them from coming back. And if they came here illegally the first time, then they know how to get back here. It's just a matter of time. Well, I guess it is a matter of time before Tom gets his keys to the Batmobile and really gets to show people what a border czar is supposed to do. Talk to y'all about the shooting at Chipotle, but did you know an officer was fatally shot at Food Lion in North Carolina? Food Lion, I know it's not, everybody doesn't have Food Lion, so it's a grocery store, chain grocery store, nationwide, I guess, kind of, or east and southeastern grocery store chain. Anyway, North Carolina police officer was fatally shot responding to reports of a person with a gun inside of the supermarket. People are starving and they're doing weird shit. And well, when they don't say the suspect's name already, we already know the suspect's probably not black. But I guess we'll just let more information come out about this story. But white people be doing white people shit. But I don't know if they've been doing this thing where they show up at the grocery store with their weapon, unless they just open carry anyway. People are asking people to fuck with them so that they can have a reason to shoot somebody in the leg. I mean, it's like why people tell you that you shouldn't be a road rage driver. You don't know what somebody's going through. They could be crazy. Yeah, and that person follows you home, and then they do things to your car because you cut them off or you didn't let them over, or you did something crazy on the road, and well, they just a little bit more crazy than you. I've actually had someone follow me home one time, and this bitch got out of her car and stood on top of the hood of my car. And it's insane that she didn't break or damage anything. Not only would she have been on camera, but that would have been a sight. But no, she got out her car and she stood on top of the fucking car and just kind of reminded me that, hey, there's some fucking crazy people out here and you really need to mind your manners on the road. I don't know if I've gotten better as much as I don't flick people off anymore. No, I just say a lot of words in my car with my windows rolled up, and yeah, that's okay. I'm cool. You got it. Joe Biden's America is a war zone. And if you're not careful, you will be casualty. But if you're able to hold off a little while longer, the IRS is giving another stimulus that's supposed to be issued later this month, but it'll probably come next month. So it's if you didn't get your rebate credit, you'll get it now. It's like, damn, where was all of this assistance when people could have done something with it? But on your way out, I guess you gotta let everybody know it's not you. You were not the bad guy. Because hey, stimulus check that you were supposed to have gotten a couple of years ago. Here you go. And I guess the biggest point of the night, remember, they knew exactly who to give a stimulus check to. So Black America, who the fuck cares what you call yourself? As long as you tell them that you're owed, tell them to figure it out. That's part of the reason that you're owed. And then tell them to cut the check. Because we need to be able to do something when Shenlin Jen decides to come back over here. And now it's not just files he has. Or maybe he's got files of him doing things he's not supposed to be doing. And I don't like having to have these thoughts. But if I don't see people having these conversations, I can't help but have these thoughts. And I guess 2024 is longer than I thought it would be because, well, you might be hearing from me again this week. And yeah, you will hear from me again on Wednesday with Dr. Winters, but you might hear from me again. And then you might fucking hear from me again, because if it's just the repetition, if it's just the, all right, Eve, what do I got to do to get you off of this so that you can move on to something else? I'll tell you. Laser beam focus on our justice, on our reparative debt, because they're going to give it to us. And then, get comfortable taking what's yours, because after they give it to us, they're going to try to take it back. And if you're not strong enough, you're going to give it back to them. And then they will have paid the debt, and your ass is going to be grass. But who cares? Your student loans got forgiven, right? Who cares, The children aren't in cages anymore, right? Poof. Joe Biden is about to be out of the office. Kamala is going to run again. And who knows what America's going to look like in the next 4 years. But you can bet your bottom dollar with Tom as the border czar, well, you're going to have a lot of this going on. Sorry. I'm going to get more smooth with this. Because it shouldn't be such a hard thing to toggle between these screens, but here we are, toggling away. One of my favorite movies, Apocalypto. Have y'all seen it? I think you should. I think it's very fitting. And damn, they found a lot of them native-looking people, the other native people, the model minority native people, the ones who are on reservations and drinking themselves into an early grave. But let me not tangent. A moment of silence for all of the deportables.
Yoshi. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Huh.
Just eat.